Hey, good morning, everyone. So I'm back over at Joe and Mo's for right now, and this truck had gotten towed in. It's a Dodge Ram 1500. I don't even know the year of it. Let's see. The 15? Yeah, it's a 7 of 15. It's got a weird label on here that I've never seen before. Imported by Bisbee Importing. I've actually never seen that label on the door before. See that? Never seen that. Like, there's the actual Chrysler label, and then there's that label. Well, I've actually never seen that, so I don't know, no idea what that's about. Anyway, so it's a 2015. It got towed in. Nobody's looked at it yet. Joe and Mo may not even fix it because I'm only here for a short period of time, just helping them play catch up with a few things here. There's a couple of videos I'm going to make on a couple different things. We have an 8.1 I'm going to assemble. But yeah, so supposedly, oops, sorry about that. Supposedly this thing had an overheating concern. So they wanted me to take a quick look at it, see if I can't figure out what's going on, and going to go from there. Like I said, maybe a situation where the shop doesn't even fix it because I'm not even going to be here for a very long period of time. So let me hook my scanner up. Let me get this thing started. Let's see what's going on. Oops. Okay, so I got my scanner hooked up. I didn't do anything yet. It's a push start, so all I'm going to do is put it into the run position. Shut the wipers off. Let me shut that off. Let me close the door so we don't have to listen to the chime. Actually, this may be considered a Ram. Let's find out. Actually, I know this is considered a Ram. What did we say it was? A 15? I'll find out in a second. Yeah, no. Okay, it is considered a Ram even through the scanner. So let's go back. All right, so all I want to do is I want to check codes first. Let's just see. Display fitted systems. Let's see. So we're in engine. What that display fitted systems means is, in other words, it does a pre-scan to see, or like it does a quick overview internally and says, okay, these are the modules it has. So it brings it up on this other page here. So this is stuff that could be fitted in the vehicle, provided it had it. So all these different things may not have every single one, but all right. So let's just see. We're in engine. We're going to go to codes menu, codes. TCM request forced engine shutdown and a cylinder number 5 misfire. That's okay. TCM. I've actually never seen. I've heard of it. Never actually seen it. I worked at Chrysler for 21 years. I've never seen that code. Let's just see what happens here. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Mo actually just came to the window to tell me something. So yeah, I've actually never really seen that. I've heard of it. Never seen it. Motor don't sound bad. I don't see anything out the tail of this thing. I'm trying to look. Look at that Silverado. That thing's nice looking, right? In case you didn't know, that's mine. Anyway, alright, so I don't really feel anything here. Let's see, P232A. Let's look the code up real quick. Oh, it will not right here. Okay, I gotta get close to the building. I forgot this does not have troubleshooter any longer for these years. I have to go back into codes. Let me get closer to the building because see this network unavailable. I got to hook to the network to be able to get some of this information. Hang on a minute. So even close to the building where I can get Wi-Fi. Verified parts replacement data not available. which I don't like what they did with the newer vehicles, how they don't have the troubleshooter anymore in this Snap-on scanner. So, like here, if I go to cylinder 5 misfire, common replace parts. Okay, that's great, but common replace parts is not diagnostics. You know, okay, great, spark plugs, ignition coil, valve lifter, you know, camshaft. All right, great. Cylinder head gasket. I mean, come on, it's just like such a bogus thing, and it's the one thing I really don't like that Snap-on did. I think it's a bunch of hokey malarkey. Like those words, hokey malarkey. All right. I got wicked chest congestion. It's driving me insane. I don't feel sick, but man alive, it's just driving me nuts. So Mo had said that it was something about an overheat. So I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to check the coolant level. I'm going to also look up that code to try to figure out what does that actually mean, that shutdown thing request, the forced engine shutdown. Let me see if I can't figure something out with that and see if I can't get some kind of information. All right, let me look it up and see what I come up with. All right, so what I just researched on it, and like I said, I've never run into this before. It used to be a PO700, if I'm not mistaken, that's the number. Chrysler would have that in the PCM saying, hey, there's a transmission code. And apparently this means there's something in the transmission. Why it's saying forced engine shutdown, I'm not 100% certain. Like I said, never run into it before. So let's go to the transmission and see what we got. All right, codes. Let's see what we got here. Oh. So that's an absolutely nothing code. What does that mean? Park by wire, unintended out of park position, stored. That was induced by the tow truck. This thing has one of those rotary shifters. I can't stand them. I'd rather have a shift lever. I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of either push buttons or any of those other things. Like Mercedes has like a wiper stalk that's now the shifter. Chrysler uses this rotary dial. I hate it. Can't stand it. Some vehicles actually have an actual push button. Not a fan. People have often said, "Oh, what happens if you accidentally throw it in park because you think you're lowering the radio or something?" Nothing happens. The computer knows better. So, knows more than you do, apparently. So, anyway, let me show you what I'm talking about. So there's the rotary knob, and like I said, you could shift this thing from whatever you want while you're driving. Once you're over like a couple of miles an hour, like 2 or 3, it won't allow you to do anything. Nothing happens. Nothing will change. Like here, because it's not running, I can't do anything. But here, now I can shift reverse, neutral, drive. But if you're driving along, like I said, if you're going anything over a couple miles an hour, you go to do that, nothing will happen. So there's nothing to worry about there. But say you got to tow this thing and the vehicle's dead. Well, what do? On Dodges, there's a little access panel. You release the access panel, and there's this thing here. And it releases the parking brake. Right here is a tab or whatever. I'd have to look actually into it to remember exactly how it's done. But you release it with like a small screwdriver, and then you pull this tab, and what it does is it's an actual cable that attaches down to the transmission. So it's a mechanical device to release it from park. That's what that code is all about. So it's nothing to even worry about. So it has a cylinder 5 misfire, but I don't see anything stored for an overheat. So let me look into data, see if I can find something recorded in data that might show me something out of the ordinary. Actually, I'm going to go underneath the hood real quick. Let me start checking fluids just to see what everything looks like underneath there. Okay, so I'm underneath the hood here, and it's, you know, it's 5.7 Hemi. I'm not a big fan of these motors. I don't think they're a very good motor, to be totally honest with you. Lifter design was basically, the cam and lifter design is actually terrible in these things. If it's a vehicle that does a lot of idling, they have a tendency to have issues with the cams and lifters, eating up cams. Lifters get chewed up, stuff like that, because it's not good oiling there. if you have a car that's, believe it or not, like I always say, like with my own cars, if you have a car that's driven aggressively, like a police car that's used on the highway a lot and doesn't just sit there and idle very much, if it's a vehicle that's always on the go, you'll never have a problem. It's vehicles that just sit and get an awful lot of idle time. Those are the ones that have issues. But anyway, off the subject. So what I'm looking at here underneath the hood is this. Here's a radiator, and see that? That's all coolant down there. So we have a coolant leak, probably at the radiator itself. Yeah, it looks like it's the tank that's leaking. But now, come over here, I had already loosened up the cap. The heck is all of that? I'm just taking a whiff of it. Doesn't smell like head gasket, but that's not good. That's just a bunch of junk in there. This side looks okay, but this side is definitely... Now, granted, it rained here last night, but that's not from rain. That's antifreeze that's on there. Yeah, that's coolant. So we're going to need a radiator. And if you look down below, down there, can you see it? I can't even focus on it, but yeah, you can see stains and whatnot, and that's where that ooze that's inside there has come out. Oops, I came off it. There it is. That's that junk that's inside the radiator. So I don't know if somebody put stop leak in this thing or what, but yeah, we're gonna have to go that direction. Let me pull a dipstick out. Let me just take a look, see what it looks like. All right. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look all munged up or anything. It doesn't look chocolate shaky. And it didn't smoke when I started it. So I'm thinking we're going to have to put a radiator in this thing. I'm pretty sure Mo's going to want to put a radiator in it. Something like that, simple enough. You don't have to get super involved in doing it. I'm probably not going to be the one that's doing it. Mo's probably going to wind up doing a radiator. And, all right. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, see, I've spoken about going down a rabbit hole. And that thing with that code, that kind of threw me for a second. But as soon as I went and I checked, obviously, you know, you could think it's something really severe, you know, showing that it was a shut the engine down or whatever. But if I'm pretty sure, you know what? I wonder if I should do it. I'm wondering if you actually if you take this thing out of park, if it will shut the engine down. It might, on purpose, to save you from like a possible hazard, you know, running yourself over or whatever. Even though it's in neutral, obviously, and you're on a hill, you don't need that motor running and run yourself over now, do you? Let me see. Hold on one second. All right, so this, like I said, there's some kind of a tab here. You move this over with the screwdriver, because like you can't pull the tab, but if you move this over, you can pull that. See that? So let me try doing it. Let me start this up. Let me put my foot on the brake. I'm going to try to film this at the same time. This may not be easy. Hang on one second. Oh no. Okay. Vehicle's not in park. Still, it didn't shut it down. Oh, there it is. I took my foot off the brake. As soon as I took my foot off the brake, it shut the motor down. All right, so it's just a safety thing. All right, I thought I'd show you that. Thought it'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of it. So there it was. I thought that was something severe. Obviously, it's not. That was just because of the tow truck. So shut that chime off for you. So it was just because of the tow truck. So now I gotta stick this thing back in park. And I gotta see if the cover is in here somewhere from the tow truck, unless it was already missing, which is possible. If you have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, I know they're in the console, that same exact setup, basically. Grand Cherokee, Durango, stuff like that. All right, so that's it. That's gonna be it for this video. Yeah, it's really nothing spectacular. I thought it was something dramatic or something catastrophic, but it's not. So, all right, well, hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. And I got an 8.1 I'm going to start putting together. It's already together. I just got to put certain things back on it. All right, guys, so that's about it. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.